Top story tonight. There's been a full-scale emergency operation after an explosion at a water treatment plant. One man died in the explosion at Campsie near Derry.
20 years ago in Belfast Royal Maternity Hospital, a baby boy who was born 10 weeks prematurely was one of the first in the world to receive a pioneering medicine. It saved his life. Well, today, that baby is now a student at Queen's University, and having just completed his second-year exams, he's been meeting the doctor who brought the drug to Belfast. Paul McKillian has more.
Belfast's Europa Hotel is hosting a meeting of neonatal experts from across the world. And what better guest than Micheál Boyle? Born 10 weeks premature and with collapsed lungs, he was one of the first in the world to receive a new treatment, which allowed him to breathe until his lungs developed.
No, I was always told by my parents that I was born premature and that I was part of these trials. I knew I was one of the. They always told me I was one of the first people that was on these trials. That there was only a limited number of people on them, but I didn't know that it was actually the first. I was in a bad condition, so it definitely did help me and really improved quality of life. Without it, I don't think I'd be doing anything as well as I am now. So.
And how are you doing? I mean, did you suffer any ill effects?
Very, very, very slight. I have a bad leg, but it wouldn't really hold me back. There's very little that I can't do. I have a normal life, and considering I was 10 weeks premature and so sick whenever I was born, I consider myself very, very lucky to be just as normal as anybody else, to be able to do all the things that anybody else can. And I'm at university, and it's no problem.
The consultant who treated him had seen the drug work in Sweden, but its effects were still far from known.
The drug had been tested in animals, so we knew there were acute effects, and the long-term effects you don't know, obviously, and that was why the clinical trials had to be performed. And this was what we did in the mid-1980s. Clearly, when you've got a condition with a mortality rate as high as 50%, you want to do better than that.
The drug is now sold across the world. Its manufacturers say hundreds of thousands of lives have been saved.
You sometimes wonder what happens to these premature babies if they do have a quality of life. And so there are some ethical problems about treating the smaller babies. And Micheál is the proof that every life is worth trying to save, because then afterwards they grow up to be perfectly normal adults.
Linda Storari ending that report from Paul McKillian.